Well, they say never write legends off, Sheldon, and you can never write this guy off. The king is back, baby. The king is back, and everyone is super excited, and they're so happy that Virat Kohli's got yet another century added to his name, and a big one this time, 186 runs, and took India there past almost 90 runs ahead there, and India scoring 571 at the end of the day's play. Australia are trailing by 88 runs. Sheldon, do you want to add anything to this beautiful day?
Normal service has resumed, right, Dil? Everything is back to normal, it feels, and it had to be against Australia. He just loves playing against them, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many hundreds he's got against them, and it was Kohli at ease, at his best. It felt like the old Kohli. He's just calm and just a terrific knock, and 75 international hundreds still. I saw that stat today, 75 international hundreds. That is just amazing. And to think it's been a while since he got Test 100 too. So just imagine, like, he could have probably been 80 by now. It's just incredible to think.
Yeah.
Incredible to think he's on 75 and an all-time great and a terrific knock today as well. And it's good to see him back enjoying his cricket. He looks like he's enjoying it, and just a terrific day for him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I also seen another stat that it was 3 years, 3 months, and 17 days since his last Test 100. So you know how much this means to him. His last one, of course, coming in 2019 there almost, I think, against Bangladesh, where he scored that big 100. This was really a knock for the ages, like they say, and who else to do it, than Virat Kohli. Is super happy that he's back in the runs, and how he's also in the process went on to become India's highest scorer in this Border Gavaskar Trophy. I mean, before the start of this, everyone were expecting, and they said that, yes, Pujara, Rohit can be the one, Virat can be, if he gets into form, and he proved today why he's one of the world's best, right?
Yeah, Dil, he is the top scorer, and I think both the predictions were pretty much spot on with that as well. You said Khawaja and I said Kohli for India, and both of them doing wonders so far. But yeah, terrific. And yeah, top run scorer, average over 70 in the series. What dip in form, right, Dil? People say, like, he's just been amazing. And yeah, he could have even gone on longer today, probably, if he didn't run out of partners as well. And Akshar Patel, Dil, we were talking about his batting. He's India's second top run scorer this series. And he's averaging over 100 this series with the bat, Dil. Wow, like, what more can we say about his batting?
I mean, Sheldon, that's what I just can't get my head around it, that Akshar Patel is India's second highest scorer, right? He scored a brilliant knock today, I think around 80 runs, if I'm not mistaken. 79 to 80 runs he scored there. Of course, the first half of those runs was a bit slower because he had to be there with VK, at the other end. But then when, once he got flowing, those big shots started, was just there, and he played so well, perfect anchor role to VK in the end, and he's not kind of doing it with the ball, but of course with the bat, he's just proving to everyone that he can bat as well. But let's take it back there, at the start of the day today, India were 289 for 3 with Virat batting there on 59, and then right now 571. Like you said yesterday, Sheldon, they would have wanted to bat it and keep going on, overhaul that score, and then put Australia to bat. You reckon they can get Australia out now very cheaply?
Dil, I think they could. I think it was interesting that Australia also sent Matt Kuhneman to open. I think everyone was a bit surprised to see that, and it did look like they were a bit nervous, Australia coming out to bat. But I just feel it's too flat probably to take 10 wickets for India tomorrow. I think it's going to be very difficult unless Australia really have a brain fate, because I don't think the pitch is doing that much. Like even today, when Akshar and Kohli were batting, like it looked pretty good for batting.
Yeah.
Like it looked until they actually tried attacking and Akshar tried hitting. That's when he actually got out. And even Kohli at the end, only when he tried hitting. I feel if you just bat normally and just, go at a normal pace, it's very hard to get a batsman out.
Yeah, for sure, Sheldon. I think you're right. The pitch looked at ease there, and like we said, we wanted this kind of a pitch, right? I mean, everyone wanted this kind of pitch to see the batsman getting runs. Of course, Usman Khawaja there from Australia getting a big run, and even Virat Kohli from India. But the reason why Usman Khawaja didn't come out on the field was that because he got injured there just towards the end. He tried to take a catch on the boundary line, and I think he just jarred his left knee, and then he was just off the field. So that's the reason why he didn't come out to open. But like you said, I think Australia have got this game. I don't think so they should have a brain fade tomorrow for some reason. But hey, we've seen what this can do. Test cricket is so funny. Anything can happen on the last day. And but just a word on Nathan Lyon, Sheldon, coming to the bowling there for Australia. I mean, those overs that he's bowled, 65 overs, it's not easy. And in this extreme heat.
Insane, Dill. And the fact that he kept bowling to the right line, very few loose balls from Nathan Lyon, and he kept coming in and consistent line, pitch not offering much, but he just kept on going and kept on going. And I think in the last two games specifically, he showed his class, Nathan Lyon. Last match taking the wickets, and today on the flattest pitch, he was still bowling and still looking threatening whenever he was bowling as well.
Exactly.
And just terrific. And I think him and Ashwin, this match especially, showed their class. On a flat pitch, they still kept going and still looked threatening. And that shows class more than doing it on a spinning track when it's working. I think if bowling on this pitch shows a lot more. And I think, hats off to Nathan Lyon. Bowling 65 overs, insane in one innings.
Yeah, and I think in doing that, he picked up 3 wickets today, Nathan Lyon. And in doing so, he's also the highest wicket taker in India. That says a lot. I mean, who can boast of coming to Indian conditions, and doing so well? And Nathan Lyon, of course, showing his class there, like you said. But also just getting back to Virat Kohli, Sheldon, that 100, if you go back and if you watch it very closely there, when he got to his 100, he had only hit 5 boundaries. He'd only hit 5 boundaries. So, the other day, I was just watching something, and there was a thing that, this is a flat deck, blah, blah, blah. The batsmen are having it easier, this in this match. But at the end of the day, the batsmen still have to go out there and bat, face the heat, face the bowling. And you never know which ball is going to turn. So you still have to concentrate. You still have to, do your job. So that I felt was really tough. And you could see there in his eyes that he really wanted to make this count.
Yeah, Dylan, and I think we saw terrific test knocks in this innings because it wasn't easy to score fast, I feel. Every time a batsman tried hitting or upping the ante, he struggled a bit. That's what I feel Khawaja and Kohli and even Gill did really well. It was not quick hundreds. It was ones where you had to dig in and bat long and really work hard for your runs as well. And Kohli did that excellently. And to bat that long in this heat as well, after fielding for that long, too. He fielded for that long as well. So it's even more skillful. And he just showed his class again. What a legend.
Yeah, the good old-fashioned way of playing, they say. And finally, we are getting a test match that goes into the 5th day. So we're super happy, I think everyone who went to watch the match, I think got their money's worth today, because there's nothing better than watching someone who's got so much of pressure on his back, so much of things riding on him. And you could see what that meant to him. He, even when he got to that 100, Sheldon, he just took off his helmet. It wasn't that old way of going and slamming the bat down and looking at the dressing room that in that emotion and anger that he usually does, Virat. It was just a good old Virat, just calm, just took out the helmet, acknowledged the crowd. So I mean, it was just wonderful to see. And you can see it that everyone, all his fans all over the world, how much it means to them. But Sheldon, just moving on into this test match now, like we said, Australia have not done anything wrong, of course, because of the pitch. It hasn't changed much, batting has been fairly easy to say. So what would be Australia's game plan tomorrow, according to you? Would they just wanting to bat it out, then just see that where this test match goes, or would they be trying to push for a win?
I think a win would be tough. I think they should take it one step at a time. I don't think they should go into their shell and just try to block because that'll get you into trouble. I think they should still try to score. Today they were 2 for no loss in 6 overs. I understood that because it was towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Travis Head coming out and playing attacking like he did last match, Dil. You don't want Travis Head to be trying to survive. That's not why he's there. His best innings so far in the series has been when he's attacked the bowlers.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that in Australia actually trying to attack. I don't know if they could win. It would be very out there, for them to try to score fast and get 200. But I still think they should look for runs. Don't just try to survive. And I think another thing for them would be not to lose early wickets, because you never know if India take early wickets and get into the game. And they're still 80 runs ahead, right? If I'm not mistaken,
India,
or more.
88 runs right now.
Yeah. So So any wicket before they get to a lead would put pressure on Australia. So I think that first hour could be tricky. If Australia go to that first hour without losing too much, then the game probably will head to a draw. I think India will still obviously look to win. They can still win 3-1
They
and
can still
book their place automatically into the final. So I think India will go for it. So that should be interesting. But do you see India producing a win? Like, do you think the pitch is good enough for them to maybe bowl out Australia cheaply?
I don't know, Sheldon, how this is going to play out. Like you said, I think it all depends now on how Australia go ahead from here, right? Because I mean, if they bat slow and into a shell, then you know the pressure will be on them, and India can just like go for those wickets. Because right now it's all on India now. How they're going to go about the Test match, right? Because they have got it in their hand now. So if they want to attack, which they will tomorrow, like go for those wickets. It all depends on Australia as well, how they go about it, whether they want to play like freely attacking or whether they just want to be defensive and just take it every half an hour, so that's how it would work. But like you said, India will be looking to go ahead and to just push for the victory there because they don't want to leave it to Sri Lanka. We know that match is happening where Sri Lanka can also win tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting as, both these test matches are being played simultaneously, but more likely going to end in a draw. I would say very rarely that you see, a team getting bowled out on this kind of a surface inside the first few hours of the day's play. Yeah. Highly unlikely that on this kind of a surface. So you would think that Australia would bat at least till the afternoon, towards the afternoon. And then probably if they get enough runs and then try to declare, I don't know if they would, but it would be interesting if they get all out by tea, just before tea. And they give India a chance of like 200 to get or something like 180, 200 runs. Yeah. And then it's all in India's hands in 2 hours to go for it. Then we can have a game on our hands. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It all depends on how the first hour, like you said, goes. Maybe difficult for the batsmen. But anything else you would like to add, Sheldon, to this brilliant day? Something that you thought that was, the big moment apart from Virat's 100 today?
That's interesting, Dil. I think today on a whole also was another good batting day, obviously. But I feel like Australia didn't do much wrong today. I know India scored a lot. And I feel like Australia during last test and this test showed what they're made of. Yeah. I know it's been tough test for them, obviously, the last 2 days, but the character they've shown in the last 2 tests, I think whatever happens tomorrow, they should put their hats off because to come back the way they have in the series and actually competed for most of it, top notch to them because very easily it could have been 4-0 and they could have just given up, but they've showed a lot of fight. And I think Australia taking a 2-1 also, if they draw tomorrow, is a great result.
It's a big
there's no harm in losing 2-1 to India, who are terrific at home as well. So I think Australia would want to end tomorrow, maybe, batting out the day, maybe someone getting runs. So I think it will be interesting, and I think to see how Australia go tomorrow.
And from India's point of view, do you think if they don't win this test, how would that affect them? If the match ends in a draw, and which was likely going that side, do you think India would be disappointed slightly that they couldn't go for the win there? Or do you think that, they'll be happy and probably knowing that Sri Lanka may not beat New Zealand 2-0 there? How do you think India's going to feel knowing that they have the game in hand? Like if they went into this test match, hoping to win, but then the game ends in a draw.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't know how they'll feel, to be honest. I think they'd feel they've played as well as they could, given how the pitch was, obviously, and it was better for batting. So that is one aspect they look at. But I think maybe they'll probably think they could have played a bit faster and tried to force the game more. Yeah. Maybe risk losing more wickets. That's one aspect they may look at. But I think they're still pretty confident that even if they draw this game, they'll go through. But you don't know. I mean, Sri Lanka are playing quite well. They are giving New Zealand a hell of a fight in New Zealand right now. Yeah. And Matthews as well hitting a terrific 100 today to keep Sri Lanka in the game. Yeah. And it just shows this World Test Championship, maybe it's a bit flawed, but it still keeps us interested. We still could go to a possibility where we are in the last game of the World Test Championship, which is Sri Lanka, New Zealand second test, and still 2 teams can qualify. So it just shows it's quite a flawed format, but it's still creating great games. And again, Test cricket in this last week or so, we had that England-New Zealand Test match, and now this
This
New
one.
Zealand, Sri Lanka test match, and Australia, India going to a fifth day where still India could win, a draw could happen. So it just shows test cricket needed these couple of weeks, and it's been some great games as well too. So that's a big positive for sure.
Absolutely right, Sheldon. No better way than to put it than Sheldon does, and of course we love this format of the game. Test cricket is always the best, at least for us that we feel. But interesting day, which is going to be tomorrow, the final day of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. It all comes down to this day. Will India go for a win? Is this match going to end in a draw? Can Australia play out the entire day there and, tip their hats off to themselves and say that, okay, yes, we did well, no matter coming from a 2-0 down in the series there and then finishing up 2-1. It'll all come down tomorrow in Ahmedabad there. But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing this entire Border Gavaskar Trophy to you guys. Stay tuned, for our last day review. And of course, we'll have a detailed analysis of the test series and what we thought were, some of the key moments. But if you like this video and if you like our content, do hit the like button, and a subscribe would mean a lot to us. And also, if you have any ideas for our channel, then please mention it in the comments section. Also, please comment on what you thought about the King's knock today. I'm sure a lot of you all would want, to leave your ideas there. That's about it from us, from Boundary Line Podcast. It's with Dillon Pink and Sheldon Dougherty. And stay tuned for more updates, guys. Thank you so much.